Xinjiang has such an incredible amount of diversity. It has the deserts, it has the grasslands, it has mountains, it has everything that you want.
Because people's standard of living has been raised there so much that there is a sense of national pride there.
The Uyghur Bill, which passed by 407-1 in the Democratic-controlled House, would require the US president to condemn abuses against Muslims.
My judgment remains that genocide was committed against the Uyghurs, and that hasn't changed.
The House of Commons voted overwhelmingly 266-0 to call China's treatment of the Uyghur population, the Muslim minority in Western China, a genocide.
The position of the United States is that what is happening is genocide, and we, will look for opportunities to work.
I have some special remarks for this press conference. I have also prepared a paper specifically for today.
Beijing's practices in Xinjiang are partially moving into a territory of committing an actual genocide.
One of the photos studied by Zans shows Uyghur residents of rural areas of Xinjiang receiving medical consultation at a free house clinic. He interpreted this as a means to control population growth and enforce the thorough implementation of increasingly intrusive birth control measures. But according to the original source of the photo, the scene was of doctors measuring blood pressure, electrocardiogram, blood sugar, height and weight for poor villagers for free.
Not authored by someone who has ever been to the region he claims expertise in, and who is not even a China scholar with any record of China scholarship, and it's unclear if they even speak Chinese. Is a commentary on the sad state of U.S. media and an entire corporate and mainstream media that marches in lockstep. It is very much like a regime media when someone like Adrian Zenz is put forward by a public relations firm or one of these think tanks in Washington. Those who interview him don't question his background, which the U.S. government or hardline elements within it are seeking in order to block diplomacy with China. So he plays a very convenient and important role for a part of the political establishment.
Most of the anti-China reporting in Australia, in the United States and around the world at the moment is sourced to this organisation, reports by the Australian Strategic Policy Institute.
Evidence shows that it's not independent. It can be more accurately described as an agency of foreign influence, and it is registered on the Register of Foreign Influence that's maintained by the Australian government.
这样的机构是否还有学术信誉和独立性，相信国际社会看得清清楚楚。
The principal economic interest for the United States is to contain China. So all of the negative views that people in the United States have of China revolve around these interests.
That the U.S. government is putting so much money behind this narrative, funding overseas Uyghur groups millions of dollars and dedicating a lot of airtime towards it. And what this kind of effort usually means, we have a precedent for fake propaganda created to serve America's geopolitical interests, whether it be the weapons of mass destruction or fake incubator baby stories, and a host of other fake human rights abuses or false flag operations. And they have very good reason to want to disrupt China and its relationships.
CIA would want to destabilize China, and that would be the best way to do it, to foment unrest and to join with those Uyghurs in pushing the Han Chinese and Beijing from internal places rather than external.
There have been 5 times since 2005. All of these things are quite apparent when you're living there or staying there. You can hear the call to prayer 4 or 5 times a day. You can see people going in and out of the mosques.
We went as a group that was almost like a tourist group, and we spent 2 weeks in China speaking to folk on the ground, getting a good picture of what ordinary people are experiencing there. And at Amuchi, where you can see people dancing in the streets, there are mosques almost on every street corner. You know, we were expecting to see a much more impoverished city. We didn't see any homelessness there. It is clear that because people's standard of living has been raised there so much that there is a sense of national pride there.
Alors ça va, à un moment donné, voilà, quelquefois les faits pratiques démentent les mensonges. On peut toujours mentir, mais ensuite on peut aller voir des choses qui sont tout à fait différentes.
We're expected to believe that a population in China that has been growing faster than the majority Han Chinese, in part because they weren't subject to the one-child policy, where they have 20,000 mosques built for them, where their script is written on all the national currency, something we don't even do for our indigenous populations in Canada.
所谓的新疆种族灭绝或者强迫劳动等说法呢，都是彻头彻尾的世纪谎言。这是加拿大、美国、澳大利亚等西方国家的个别的政客、媒体和学者沆瀣一气、串联炮制的丑恶的闹剧。